Guy Newcomb with the Missouri Sports Network. Thanks for tuning in. Always presented by Liona Labor's Local 663, who reminds us, hey, folks, drive safely in those work zones today. Those folks want to go home to their families as well. Presented by Doak Propane. We start off in the Olympics this morning after being tested in the first half. It was business as usual for the United States women's national team as they cruised to a win over Japan to open the 2024 Paris Olympics. Team USA made the most of a size advantage they held over their opponents. A'ja Wilson dominated the interior to set the tone. Wilson finished with a game-high 24 points, 13 rebounds, while Brianna Stewart added 22 points and 8 boards. Setting table for Team USA was the point guard Chelsea Gray, who dished out 11 of her 13 assists in the first half. The Americans assisted on 35 of their 41 goals. After winning the silver at the Tokyo Games, Japan showed why it will be, again, a tough out in 2024. The team, that kind of a frenetic style of play, coupled with their ability to shoot from beyond the arc and make them. It's going to be a handful for any opponent throughout these Olympics. The final score, though, USA 102, Japan 76. Team USA will have 2 days off before returning to action on Thursday when they face Belgium in another group play. And the USA men's gymnastic team made medal history. Paul Judah, Steven Nedorosik led Americans to its first men's team medal since 2008. And how about, did you see this in baseball? With bases loaded, 2 outs on the board in the bottom of the first inning, the Orioles led the Blue Jays 4-0 already, with James McCann came up to bat, facing off against Yariel Rodriguez. McCann batted to a 2-2 count before disaster struck. On the 5th pitch of the at-bat, Rodriguez let a 95-mile-an-hour fastball go up and in, the fastball that hit McCann right on the nose, immediately dropping him to the ground. He was holding his face, and it became obvious that McCann was bleeding profusely, even spitting out blood. Rodriguez was pulled at that point by Blue Jays manager John Schneider. McCann managed to shuffle off to first base, albeit with gauze stuck to his nose and all over his face. He was still bleeding. Ultimately, he returned behind the plate and continued to catch. Elsewhere in St. Louis, the Cardinals lose 6-3 to the Rangers at Busch Stadium, who surprisingly, since the 2011 World Series, the Cardinals are 0-7 versus the Rangers at Busch. Nathan Eovaldi goes 6 innings, giving up 3 runs, striking out 2. Kirby Yates picks up the save. Andre Palante gets the loss, and Matt Carpenter hits a home run with a runner on, and is number 3 now in total bases on the total bases list at the new Busch Stadium, behind, well, obviously, Pujols and Yachty. Game 2 tonight at 6:45. As we approach the trade deadline, the Cardinals land Erick Fedde in a 3-team deal with the Dodgers and the White Sox. The Cardinals get starting pitcher Erick Fedde and outfielder Tommy Pham. Dodgers get infielder Tommy Edman and right-handed pitcher Michael Kopech. The White Sox get infielder Miguel Vargas, infielder Gerald Perez, and infielder Alexander Albertus. And the Cardinals get an A grade for this trade, while meanwhile the Dodgers get a B- and the White Sox get a D. And the White Sox, yeah, good heavens, they're going to be worse now at already 27-83 or 82 on the season. We've got an opportunity here to break that 120 single game loss season. The Cardinals only gave up the injured Edman to land a solid starter, controlled through 2025, and a reliable veteran bat in Tommy Pham, who started his career in St. Louis. That's a deal they would take every day of the week. The Dodgers still need another move or two, but they're in the right kind of spot, and the right team probably to unlock Kopech's potential. Giving up 3 players for that haul is a bit on the heavy side, but there's no prospect here worth losing any sleep over. That's why it's pretty disappointing to see that the White Sox just walk away with only this kind of return for solid veterans. Meanwhile, in Kansas City, in an effort to increase their pitching depth and versatility on the staff, the Royals acquired right-handed pitcher Michael Lorenzen from the Rangers on Monday, a day ahead of the 5 p.m. trade deadline today, 5 p.m. Central Time, in exchange for lefty reliever Walter Pennington. Lorenzen is he's 32. He's 5-6 with a 3.81 ERA and 19 appearances. He's had 18 starts with the Rangers this season after signing a one-year deal for $4.5 million during spring training, making his season debut on April 15th. Royals general manager J.J. Picollo said Lorenzen could fit any role as the Royals juggle both injuries, especially new injuries, in the bullpen and the starters reaching new territory when it comes to innings pitched. Royals bullpen has the third worst ERA in baseball. Lorenzen is a very good insurance, for the Royals, regardless of what his role is. The Royals had been interested in Lorenzen, and a deal came together quickly with Texas on Sunday night when the Rangers made him available as the rotation continues to get healthy. It also happened to coincide with two Royals relievers exiting Sunday's games due to injury, and one of them, John Schreiber, went on the 15-day DL or injured list Monday with the right knee patella tendon inflammation. The Royals will know more about his timeline for a return in the coming days after he receives an injection, but he could be sidelined for 3 to 5 weeks. Meanwhile, the MVP stepped to the plate and had an at-bat that pushes him, obviously, maybe to the front of the line in the MVP discussion with force. After a quiet, discouraging 7 innings for the Royals offense, momentum was building on Monday night after back-to-back home runs brought Kansas City to within a run of the White Sox. And then Superman stepped to the plate. Anytime you have a future MVP, a front runner at the plate, you expect something special to happen. Witt Jr. has just been on fire. You know something's going to happen. This is a guy you don't want to back. He gained some national notoriety in the home run contest in his home state of Texas, but almost as if it were inevitable, Bobby Witt's fourth hit of the game was a go-ahead grand slam that lifted the Royals to an 8-5 series opening win against the hapless White Sox at Guaranteed Rate Field in Chicago. Anytime the Royals seem out of it and on their way to a loss, Bobby Witt comes to the plate and somehow gets a hit, and a big hit, and you know he's going to do it. Major League standings right now in the American League, AL East, Red Sox still lead that over the Yankees by a half a game. The Yankees are 4.5 in front on the wild card. Cleveland Guardians 5.5 up on Minnesota, who's now 1+ in the wild card game. Our wild card game's back. The Royals are right there as well, but they're 6.5 behind the Guardians for the league lead. In the AL West, the Astros now 5-5 over their last 10. They've lost 2 in a row, but they now are 2.5. I'm sorry, tied with the Seattle Mariners, who are 2.5 games back in the wild card. In the National League, the Phillies at 65-41 are 3-7 over their last 10. A team many thought was the best team in baseball. They've kind of hit a rough spot right now, but they're still 8.5 in front of the Atlanta Braves, who are just a half game up in the wild card standings right now. The Mets are even in the wild card and 9 games back of Philadelphia. In the NL Central, Milwaukee Brewers 7-3 over their last 10 are 7 games up on the Pirates and the Cardinals. And the Cardinals and the Pirates now are both 2 games back in the wild card slot. The Cardinals are 4-6 over their last 10. And then the NL West, the Los Angeles Dodgers 63-44, and they're 6.5 games in front of San Diego. San Diego has a wild card spot right now. The Diamondbacks just 7 back and a half a game out of the wild card standing. So we're going to take a break, and we'll come back after you hear a word from our sponsors, a little bit of on this day in history.
Chevy Silverado. It's got the power you want and the capability you need to do the job, so you can get to the important work. Find new moments, find new roads. Get a $500 cash allowance on all 2022 Silverado pickups with a 2.7-liter turbo engine. Plus, unlock your code to claim $500 Chevy CyberCash. Visit ChevyCyberCash.com today.
Imagine a bank that goes where you go, creating seamless solutions for every step in your financial journey, allowing you to manage your money the way you want to, with a banking relationship that makes every day extraordinary. Imagine a world full of possibilities, always within reach. Central Bank. We do banking better.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 290,000 participants here in Missouri who take part in high school sports or activities.
Hey, welcome back to the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And now for a little bit of On This Date in History, presented by Great Southern Bank. Great Southern Bank with more than 600 locations in 6 states. Great Southern Bank, understanding what really matters. Member FDIC. On this date in 1863, President Abraham Lincoln issues eye for an eye, order to shoot 1 rebel prisoner for every black Union prisoner shot. In 1874, first baseball teams to play outside the U.S., Boston versus Philadelphia in the British Isles. In 1945, after delivering the atomic bomb across the Pacific, the cruiser USS Indianapolis is torpedoed and sunk by Japanese submarine. 880 of the crew die, many after being attacked by sharks in the water, inspiring the movie Jaws. In 1966, Beatles' Yesterday and Today album goes #1 and stays #1 for 5 weeks. In 1969, Astros' Dennis Menke and Jim Wynn hit grand slams, both in the 9th inning versus the Mets. In 1975, U.S. Teamsters President Jimmy Hoffa disappears in suburban Detroit. Hoffa is not legally declared dead until 1982. And in 1980, Houston Astros pitcher J.R. Richards suffers a stroke and collapses while playing a game of catch before an Astros game, thus ending his career. In 1990, on this day, George Steinbrenner is forced by Commissioner of Baseball Fay Vincent to resign as principal partner of the New York Yankees. And in 1996, Tommy Lasorda retires as the LA Dodger manager. Lasorda made his major league debut on August 5th, 1954 for the Brooklyn Dodgers. He made his only start for the Dodgers on May 5th, 1955, but was removed after the first inning, tying a major league record with 3 wild pitches in 1 inning, and then being spiked by Wally Moon of the St. Louis Cardinals when Moon scored on the 3rd wild pitch. Lasorda made only 3 more appearances for the Dodgers and was optioned back to Montreal on June the 8th and was replaced on the Major League roster by Sandy Koufax. Lasorda became the manager of the Los Angeles Dodgers September 29, 1976, upon Coach Alston's retirement. When asked by broadcaster Vin Scully if he felt any pressure replacing Walter Alston, Lasorda responded, "No, Vin. I'm worried about the guys who's going to replace me. That's the guy who's going to have it tough." He managed the final 4 games of the 1977-76 season. Lasorda compiled a total of 1,599 wins and 1,439 losses as a Dodgers manager. He won 2 World Series championships in 1981 and 1988, 4 National League pennants, 8 division titles in his 20-year career as the Dodgers manager. His 16 wins in 30 NLCS games were the most of any manager at the time of his retirement. He also managed in 4 All-Star games. Lasorda managed 9 players who won the NL Rookie of the Year. The winners came in 2 strings of consecutive players from 1979 to 1982, 1992 to 1995. 1979-82, Rick Sutcliffe, Steve Howe, Fernando Valenzuela, and Steve Sax all won Rookie of the Year. From 92 to 95, Eric Karros, Mike Piazza, Raul Mondesi, and Hideo Nomo won Rookies of the Year. Before retiring during the 1996 season, he also managed that year's eventual winner, Todd Hollandsworth. And from our Central Banks of the Ozarks, in case you missed it, the Downtown Aquarium in Denver has a new resident. A rare orange lobster that was rescued from a shipment of crustaceans delivered to a Red Lobster restaurant in Pueblo, Colorado. A long-term employee who was a dishwasher and head biscuit maker spotted the bright orange lobster while unpacking the shipment last Friday and altered the restaurant, alerted the restaurant managers. Aquarium officials said the staff named it Crush after the Denver Broncos' legendary Orange Crush defense from 1976 to 1986. Crush will be examined by a veterinarian after 30 days in quarantine, will be placed in the Lurks, an exhibit that houses other cold water North Atlantic Ocean species. Crush was shipped to Pueblo restaurant from a supplier in Tennessee. It was caught off the coast of Canada, said Kasteniak, but she was unable to confirm which coast. Everyone, it's Dateline, July 30, 2024. Hope everyone has a great day. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could